So Airbnb released a new update on May 11th, and they announced it as the biggest update that they have gone through since their launch. So in this video today, we are going to go through what it looks like and what it means for you as a host and for you as a guest. Also, please excuse this setup today. I am currently living in Mexico as we are in between Airbnb projects, and whenever we are in between Airbnb projects, we always move somewhere less expensive. So that comes with a little peculiar setups for these videos. So on May 11th, Brian, the CEO of Airbnb, released 3 major updates. Update number 1, and the largest update that is going to impact the way people both use Airbnb and how investors look at investing in Airbnbs, is how they are switching the search process for Airbnbs. Originally, Airbnb was always created as this unique stay. It kind of started out as like a couch surfing, room sharing, get to know the locals experience, and since then, over the last few years, we have really watched it transform into something totally unique, really disrupting the way we thought about travel before. During COVID, it kind of shifted everything, and all of a sudden you saw so many hosts, especially in cities, start switching their listings to long-term listings. And now that COVID has kind of taken an ease, you can see Airbnb is pushing against that and pushing back into the unique stay niche that they always wanted to be in. Okay, so let's take a look at what this update looks like. Now, if you get into the Airbnb app and you click I'm flexible for the sake of this video so we can get a larger look, you can see across the top that now there are 1,000,000 categories to organize each individual listing and really show off those unique amenities that these Airbnbs have. That's the best part about staying in Airbnbs, is looking at something that a hotel really can't offer you. My personal favorite is, of course, design, where you're starting to see them prioritize people who are prioritizing their guests and spending extra to make sure that the guest experience is immaculate. But as you continue scrolling, you can see all of the different categories that your Airbnb can possibly fit into. So now, as a host, you should be prioritizing these experiences. For the hosts who have a great location but maybe not so many amenities, don't fear, there is an all homes category still available to you so that if they are looking in a specific location, it will show them all the properties in that location. But who this really benefits are those in smaller locations that aren't as popular travel destinations. Now, people are going to have a much better opportunity to find your unique stay, even if it's off the beaten path. Second point that I want to make about this specific portion of the update is that you can qualify for multiple categories, meaning if you have an A-frame on a lake house, you can fall into the category of lake houses and A-frames. So you can qualify for multiple categories, meaning that your property will show up in multiple different searches. Update number 2 is something they call split stays, where they are now going to give you multiple options if you are looking for an extended period of time. Instead of Airbnb just showing you the listings that have the entire stay available, they are going to offer you split stay options, where they're going to collect multiple properties and show you, hey, if you want to go somewhere for a month, you can stay 1 week here, 2.5 weeks here, and another week here. This is definitely going to have an impact on those hosts who switched their strategy during COVID to long-term stays only, or those of you who are arbitraging for 30 days or longer to try and get around the regulation that a lot of apartment complexes have. Your competition just got a lot higher. And for the hosts who were not prioritizing long-term stays, this might bring you in more traffic. You might think about adjusting your availability on your calendar to, say, 7 days or longer and months out, because now you've got a longer or a wider net of potential guests that you might be catering to. Now it might not only be the week-long travelers or the weekend travelers, it may be the digital nomads. This feels like a really great solution, in my opinion, for the huge shift that happened during COVID to nomad workers or remote workers. And ultimately, what I think this is going to do is it's going to push people who were shifting to corporate stays only to other apps like Furnished Finders, where they are prioritizing longer stays for travel nurses or business travelers. We'll have to see what the guest prefers, whether they want to stay in one location for a month or if they want to hop around. And the last big update that they included is something called Air Cover. It already existed, but now it's much more robust to try and cater to the pain points points that both hosts and guests feel with a lack of support from Airbnb when issues arise, because we all know they do. In my personal opinion, these air cover updates, as an avid Airbnb traveler and an avid Airbnb host, these updates all aligned with both the guest and the host. This allows the host to cancel if they need be with support from Airbnb to relocate their guests into a different accommodation. It allows a support line if you are a guest who's experiencing a problem. There is no more ambiguous Airbnb support numbers where it's impossible to get a resolution. If you are a guest and the pictures don't do the place justice, or they do the place too well of justice and it doesn't look anything like what you anticipated it to, you have a spot to report that. Just so many updates with more support from Airbnb themselves, which both the hosts and the guest definitely were desperately in need of. So all in all, as an avid Airbnb guest and an Airbnb host, I'm super excited about all of these updates. Side note, I've always been a fan of people who have prioritized design and experiences in their Airbnb, because that's the best part about Airbnb, is how it's changing the way people are traveling for the better. I'm excited to see how these roll out. I'm excited to be able to use these experiences to have cooler travel experiences as an Airbnb traveler, and I'm excited as a host to be prioritized as someone who is big proponent for experience-based properties. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with the changes? Are you concerned about any, or are you excited about them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, if you found value in this video, please hit the subscribe button, or at a very minimum, the like button. That helps us out tremendously. And if you want to see more videos, or if you have further questions, please plug in with our community. We would love for you to plug in and help you along your Airbnb journey. See you next time.